How to go from introvert to social chat. Now listen, this video actually hits kind of deep for me just because when I was growing up in school, I used to be the one kid. I'm telling you right now, I was like probably the lowest ranking kid in terms of the social hierarchy. And some of you guys might be thinking, nah, that's an exaggeration, surely. I mean, like you see the way I am on camera, you see how naturally flowing I am in conversation. But let me tell you right now, just to paint a picture, right? When I was walking home from school, right? So like right when all the kids left school through the gate, I used to be walking like just down the road. And if a group of kids in my year saw me, even if I was like a mile behind them, way down the road, right? They would all collectively look at me and shout, "Oh, Sadat's coming," and run away. So I went from being that kid who no one wanted to be around, to then becoming like I don't want to call myself a social Chad, but let's just put it this way. When I was in university, like just from the way I was in my societies and friend groups, and even with people like who are complete strangers with me, I used to have guys coming up to me and asking, how do I do it? Like, how am I so confident? How do I figure out what to say, etc., etc. And I'll tell you right now, it's not a gimmick. It's nothing cringe. It's not like some weird, toxic, social manipulation. It's just one mindset change, okay? And I'm gonna share that with you today. And I promise you, if you just practice this one mindset change, it's gonna change everything for you. You're gonna go from the guy who was a social ghost to being a social chat, all right? So with that being said, let's get into it. There's one tip, and the only tip that I wanna share with you today to go from becoming an introvert to a social chat is something called mindset framing. And more specifically, it's this analogy right here. There are two types of people in the world, right? There are faucets and there are drains, okay? Now with people who are faucets, right? They're the type of people who will fill you up. Okay, that sounds sus. Hold on. I know it. They are people who are going to uplift you. Just being around them, you're gonna feel inspired. You're gonna feel energized. You just can't help but feel happy around faucets because of the way that they make you feel. Whereas drains drain you, right? They drain your energy. They drain your ambition. They drain even your will to do stuff day to day. Because when you're around them, all they ever do is bring you down. And sometimes it's not even intentional. Sometimes it's that one friend who's telling you,
"Oh, bro, I know you're about to do, like, you're gonna work on your business, but how about let's just smoke some weed? Let's just drink. Oh, bro, you know what, bro, you're saying you wanna go wake up early to go and run. Fuck that. Bro, just stay with me and let's just go stay up late and, like, do some degenerate shit."
right? Those people are drains. Whereas I bet you can picture some people that you have in your life right now who are faucets, right? People who, when you're around them, all they ever do is make you feel good about yourself. All they ever do is talk positive. All they ever do is try to lift you up, okay? That is a faucet. And with that being said, my message to you is in everything that you do, in your like waking day, aim to be a faucet. Be the type of guy who in social situations, he doesn't talk about himself. He doesn't feel the need to big himself up because ironically, that will make you look fucking weird. And imagine a guy who all he ever does is flex on himself to sort of like big up his own self, right? And just sort of neglects anything that anyone else does. Compare that to the guy who, even though he is, in shape, or even though he's socially charismatic, and even though he's like all this and whatever, he never talks about himself. Instead, all he ever talks about is you, and more importantly, acknowledges you for like the qualities that no one else would see. That type of guy is what I'd call the social Chad. Now, the key point with this mental switch though, is that everything that you do has to be non-needy. And what I mean by this is the mindset is to lift people up, but not to expect anything in return. And the reason why I say that is because if you're the type of guy who wants to give a compliment, for example, but you're expecting a certain reaction, or you're expecting them to give a compliment back, then this isn't gonna work because your intentions, even though for you might feel like you conceal them, everyone else can read them, okay? So you have to be the type of guy who wants to lift people just because it feels like your life purpose. Like you're here on this earth to bring people up, right? To help other people, to inspire them. It is then and only then that this mentality and this sort of like social switch, you can call it, right, is going to serve you, all right? And just like that, guys, that is it. That is the entire tip. Now, listen, I know I gave one tip this video, and usually in most of my videos I try to give 2 or 3. But the reason why is because I want you guys to not get overloaded with information. I've done thousands of hours of like social experience and social like research, right? But at the end of the day, less is more, okay? If you just adopt this one mental switch, that's it. Just make it so that every day when you wake up, you think, you know what? I want to bring someone up. You know, even if it's a stranger, right? I'm just going to compliment his t-shirt. That's it. I'm literally going to go up to him and say, hey, look, I like your t-shirt. I like your fit. Whatever it is, right? Throw away compliments, right? Just because you want to put other people up. If you do that, and that is your pure intention, I'm telling you right now, you will become the guy. When you enter social settings, people will be like, oh shit, it's Sada. Oh shit, yo, what are you doing? It's been so long, da 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 da. And you become that guy who everyone knows. But yeah, guys, I'm back on YouTube uploading 2-3 times a week, but everything social, gym, and mindset related. So if you like this video and you want to see more content, I have some more you can watch. But so you don't miss the next one, subscribe down below, and I'll see you next one. Peace.